Good evening, everyone. My name is Micah Brew, and I am covering the material that we covered on our Disney parent meeting for anyone who was not able to attend the meeting. So these are the things that we're going to cover together. First off, just why Disney, what's so important about this trip. We'll cover the basics, dates, general itinerary, the cost of the trip, fundraising opportunities, some chaperoning opportunities that we have available, and then some frequently asked questions that we encountered in the meeting as well. So the most important question in this sense is why Disney, of all places. I'm the kind of person that when I want to learn something new, I tend to go to the best person that I can find who does that thing itself. Well, Disney happens to be a world leader in the entertainment industry. They foster millions and millions of dollars through music, through movies, through general entertainment shows, all sorts of things. And so they are kind of the world leaders in this industry. I feel that it's really important having an opportunity for our students to go down and work with some of their professionals in understanding music and understanding the music industry as well. So we will be participating in this thing called Festival Disney. Festival Disney is an opportunity that Disney puts out where we go, we get adjudicated by a professional set of judges, and then we get a clinic that is normally done by a world-famous conductor or choir clinician. Last time I was there was Dr. Antoine Armstrong, who led a phenomenal clinic. We also worked with Z. Randall Stroop, who's one of my personal favorite composers as well. We get to perform. We'll be performing alongside some of their musicians, performing also in fellowship with our own Forsyth County musicians, as Piney Grove and DeSana Middle School will be joining us on this trip. And of course, Disney, is a pretty good, fun place. This is a good opportunity for us to foster some friendship and fellowship among our choir members as well. So for the schedule, the dates for the trip are February 28th through March 3rd. We will be leaving early in the morning on the 28th, arriving sometime mid to late afternoon in one of the parks, spending the afternoon in the park, and then getting settled in our hotel shortly thereafter. The next several days will be going either between clinics or the actual parks themselves. And then, of course, that Sunday we will be leaving early on Sunday to try and make it back home, and we'll probably arrive home around 4 o'clock that afternoon. We will be traveling using a chartered bus. No flying with this trip, just easier. It is about a 10-hour trip, but plenty of stops. It should make it nice and easy on down and everything. Let's see. The most important question that we get for this as well is how much will it cost? We are estimating at this time at about $850 per student. The first payment is actually due fairly soon. Originally it was due this Friday. We've actually been able to move it to next Wednesday, which I believe is September 19th. And that first payment is $170, which will book the transportation costs and some of the room costs for Disney. The remainder of the payments will be about $150 since we're doing this in payment plans. That will be due on the 15th of each month. So going from October all the way to January, that's $150 that should pay for the remainder of the trip. In addition to this, we do have fundraising opportunities that are available. We'll be doing 2 fundraisers this semester and 1 in the next semester. The one that's going to apply most to Disney and is going to be most beneficial for our students is the cheesecake and cookie dough fundraiser that we have done traditionally. We are actually going through a different company, however, that also allows online sales and offers other items to be sold as well, such as custom tumblers, college spiritware, and spirit items, and I believe some health food items as well. So offering as many of those things as we can, and making this so that it's no longer a door-to-door fundraiser. It's there is that option, yes, but there's also a much safer option of just sending a link online and applying any of those things that are bought directly to the students' own accounts on that, to make it 10 times easier on me, but also on the students, and much safer for the students as well. That fundraising opportunity will take place in October, and the proceeds will go entirely to the students' Disney cost if they are attending Disney. In addition to that, if you have season passes, there are ways that you can apply your season passes to the trip, particularly if there are family members who aren't necessarily attending as chaperones, but want to still come with their families and come with their students. They can do that and actually apply the season passes. And students can get season passes as far as the parks. Now, they still do have to pay for the Festival Disney tickets, as well as the hotel costs. But the season passes may take off some money from the overall cost itself, providing a discount. So just an example, the first payment is $170. The second payment and every subsequent payment will be about $150 due the 15th of every month. You can get the season pass discount through our travel agent, Miss April Hicks, and the remaining costs could be applied as a fundraiser, meaning that realistically you may only spend about $320 on the overall trip itself at the end of the day, assuming we can do extensive fundraisers for this. Now, we've covered a lot of the basics on this. The next big thing is support on the trip, ways that we can support our students and the program itself. The biggest thing is going to be financial, using that fundraising. There are a lot of students, particularly our 8th grade students, who I know have the Disney trip, but also have the Savannah trip that will be taking place several weeks afterwards. And that is a lot. That's one of the biggest reasons why we're looking to offer some financial assistance through fundraising. I think that this is such a big, important event. Having done this both as a student and as a director, I see the life-changing opportunities that come with it as a professional musician. And so I can attest to that and say that this is a very beneficial trip for anybody who wants to be a singer or just wants to be musical. And so I don't want to deny any students from this due to financial restrictions, but I also understand that it is a lot to ask for a Disney trip as well as the Savannah trip for 8th grade. And so we want to help out as much as we can with those fundraising opportunities. The other way to support is physically through chaperoning. At this time, we have roughly about 25 students who are signed up for it. We're looking to take one chaperone for every 6 students. That does include myself, one of our assistant principals, and another teacher from the school, meaning that we probably have room for about 3 other chaperones as well. If you are interested in that, please send me an email with your information, your contact information, and just your general interest with chaperoning, and we will definitely consider you once we have our final numbers for the trip and know how many people we do need for it. Now, chaperones do have to pay their own way for this. Unfortunately, we don't have a way to cover all the chaperones without increasing the price for every student by about $115. And again, that just doesn't seem fair for our other students, and to me personally. So if you are interested in being a chaperone, unfortunately, the cost will be the same for this. Now, some of the duties of the general chaperone is making sure that you're leading and watching over students as they navigate through the parks. You will be in charge of a group of students. Please excuse this. This says 8 students. We're doing about 1 in 6. A little typo there. But you'll be watching over a group of about 6 students as they navigate through the park. If you are coming with your child, you will be able to be in the same group as your child. And several other students. You'll also be responsible with communicating directly to me, just general location issues, general things here or there. I'll be sending reminds throughout the trip, specifically for the Disney people, just checking on locations and reminding you where we need to be at certain times. There will be fast passes that will be given out for the trip as well for certain attractions. And so at those points, I'll remind you about those fast passes and about meeting points that go along with it. You're being asked to handle and mediate some small group issues. Nothing major. Things like, well, so-and-so doesn't want to go on the ride, but somebody else does. And they're just trying to figure out where to go with the Disney trip next and all that kind of stuff. And most important, upholding in county, school, and program policy as well. I do a lot typically to try and teach the students that we are representing the program, we're representing our school and our counties and our families and all this kind of stuff, that our actions are meaningful and that they are representative of the kind of people that we are and the character of people that we are. And so our students are very, very polite. They're very well respected, very well mannered. But I also know that when we get to Disney World, people tend to lose their minds halfway once they see those Mickey Mouse ears sometimes. And so, chaperones, we ask that y'all will help keep students mindful about upholding those policies as well. Now, some of the questions that were asked, if you do have any questions that I don't answer during this presentation, please email me. You can also email our travel agent, Miss April Hicks, at april@familymemoriestravel.com. She's kind of our go-to person. She's incredibly organized, has been doing this for several years, working specifically with Disney, and has organized trips for all of the middle schools in Forsyth, and I think some of the high schools as well for several years now. So she's very, very good at what she does, and will probably be able to answer questions better than I will. But some of the questions that did arise from our parent meeting were things like how the payments are going to be made. You will actually pay through familymemoriestravel.com directly. There's a link at the very top right hand corner about group trips. You will actually click on that, find the Riverwatch Middle School trip, and send all the payments directly that way. She will send out a trip ledger, an invoice for all of the payments attached with that. And if you're interested in chaperoning or have more people going or have the season passes, or all these other things that you can apply to the trip, she will actually put that on the invoice itself, so that you can see exactly how much you would owe in total for the trip. Some other things, we did mention that we do have an AP going, or one of our assistant principals going, as well as another teacher from the school who's signed up for it. So there are several other adults linked with the school who will be there attending the trip, and will be there to help out. Students do get meal cards for each day. We hand those out each morning of the trip. It's about $40. It only goes to food, so your students will be well fed on the trip. For any other expenses, they will have to bring their own spending cash for that, but that's something that's separate that you guys will determine. Part of the fees for the trip, though, do go into those meal cards, for about $120 of food for the entire trip. Now, one last thing. I've sent this out several times to remind. I'll send out an updated copy, but we handed out a parent meeting trip or parent meeting info session as well that has the itinerary, that has the costs and everything, and the family memories